Welcome back. In this video we're going to learn about width, heights, borders and shadows. Widths and heights are what we called sizing, and it determines their box sizing. So each element is basically by default a box, and that's how you're going to decide what's the width, what's the height, and also what's the border. Is it having a border on the top, bottom, start or end, or is it rounded, is it sharp cornered, and etc. Let's get excited as always and deliver on this. So this is the 6th video, the 6th tutorial, and I'm going to paste it, and this is going to be number 6, which is sizing. I said shadows and borders .html. So here we're going to put it in the same of sizing, comma, shadows and borders. Then as always, our magical container class. Inside it I'm going to put end of coding life here, then have an h1 with the class of text success and a margin y of 3, not so much, and then we say the same thing we did here. Not that this is important for the video, but it just gives us some level of organization. First thing, let's do a h4. Let me create some space here. I'm going to do a h4 with the same classes as text success. By now I think you've realized that we can apply several classes to it, a margin top of 3. And the first thing we're going to learn is how to apply widths. So say applying width, just like the paddings and the margins, we have several context classes, and to do that I'm going to use a favorable development with padding of 2, if that's enough, and then a background class of danger as always, because we loved red color. You can use any, be it success, be it whatever you want. This is just a tutorial to show you how to apply different with context. And before I do that, I'm going to use 5 of them because I want to create a number. So 5 of them. Then inside I'm going to say this is just anyway, let's start with the first one. This is a width. I'm just going to say 25%, and to do that 25% of the browser, I'm going to do W25. So if I go to the browser, you can see 25%. Okay, then if we want to do 50%, I'm just changing this text so that we'll be able to do all this. So 50%, that's how it is, 50%. The next one is 75% of the browser or the container, so W75. That's it. Then the next one should be 100%, which you will not really see a big difference apart from, you see right now is showing the whole width. If I do W100, see, it's still the same because it's occupying 100%. If I want to center the width, I can use the auto, and that's what happens, W auto. So the width is auto. Not much difference between all this, because I mean the auto and the 100%, because auto just finds the alignment of the parent item and just centers it, and this one it's full width. Okay. Having learned that, let's move to applying height to items, because I want us to be able to see how to move these tutorials quickly. Applying height, I've applied the width, which is not right. First of all, I'm going to delete these paddings because we don't really need them here. So wait, okay, highlight all of them, deleted, sorry about that, not z, delete them like that. Then since we've applied the background color, which is the context color that we're going to use, that I want to also apply the text class so that our text can be seen and you'll be able to see what is inside. And then we also have, since this we want to apply, remember we said for certain items we can use the D inline block itemization, because that's what help us to align different items either inline or in block. Okay, then instead of the width item we just replace with the H item, the height item, so it applies the same way. If I save this and go, as you can see, 25% is like that, 50%, 75, 100%, and then auto. But you're not going to see the difference in terms of the size, because the parent item needs to be having some type of, so let me just use this, some type of styling, because we need to give it a certain height for these other items to also fall in it. So I'm going to give a parent item a div with actually let's just do a div, then inside the div, or actually let's paste, I was just thinking how best to do it. So then we do a style, this is CSS style, it's an inline style, a height of 400 pixels, and then we are going to do a border so that you'll be able to see what really happens. So 2 pixels border, and then it's supposed to be solid, and the color is, let me use black as an example. If I save that, go, you can see this is the different heights. Okay, so this is how it looks. So 25%, 50%, 75%, and auto looks like this. Most of the time the height auto is just going to see what is being offered and just place whatever according to the content that is in it. It's going to see and align it properly on the height. Okay, so this auto text fits into this, and that's how it is. It applies it to it, so it checks out what the content is. Next, better for us to move faster, we are going to learn now about borders, the much awaited borders. Now, what are borders? And we've just applied one here where it's the black border all the way. I wanted to show you how it goes. So this one has applied 100% to the border, from border to border. Now, what if we need to learn about borders? Let me copy this. Applying borders, and there are different border classes, so depends on where you want to apply the border. And as always, we are going to, let me just start from afresh. I don't know why I'm copying and pasting and just deleting later, but let's create a div with the class. Let's put some padding. Let's put some padding of 2 probably, and then if they're going to be stacked on top of each other, we can give a margin bottom of 3, and then a background. What background do you want? Let me just give danger. I love danger. Not really. Yeah, and then give how many classes? Probably 5, so that I don't type this over and over again. Okay, so let's start with the regular border. So to apply the regular border, let me just save this and go. You see, this is the regular, that's borders. Yeah, so it's this big compared to the rest because the rest don't have text in it, and regular is like that. So if I want to, let me add some text here so that we can see the text inside. Let me add the text class. Yes, now we can see. Let's not. So to apply the regular border class, just do a class of border. and it's going not to change much, but just have the normal borders. If you want to apply now a border to the top of the items, let me see this, my live server, let me click that, then apply. Yes, now we are back. Let me just close this and see how we can, and yeah, I'm trying to see why I can't see the borders. And let's try and change, let's say, light. Yes, now you can see we have some faint border on all sides. Let me go to the next and let's shift this. If I want to actually apply, let's say, this to the top, border to the top only, and let me put it like that, and put a class of border top. And see, you see the border is only applied to the top. You can see it in faint, but it's actually only applied to the top. If I want to apply to the bottom, this is I think the background is not favorable for you to see, so bottom and bottom, and you can see it's shifted from the top to the bottom. And next is if you want to apply to the right, but let's start with the the right. So we'll just do the, so remember right, we said is end, so you can just put it as right, and then border left is border start, left. See, so if we do that, and we have to change this to light, sorry about that, for us to see. So there is a border to the right, and then there is a border to the left, as you can see here. So that's how you're able to give border depending on where you want it, but there is also contextual colors to the border so that they are visible or not visible. Okay. So to pass through the contextual colors, let me just copy this, because I was going to do the same thing, applying border colors. And as you know, we need to apply the class of border first of all, and decide whether it's border whatever you want. It's not a must you put in all these other colors, but you can decide to put them in. I'm just going to delete them, this border top, border bottom, so that all of them have borders. And if I save this, you will see like it's same, applying border colors, all of them are having the same border. Now the first one is border primary, as you guessed, different contextual colors. I'm just going to do this here and do the first one is primary, and we don't need to go to the browser to see it. I'm just going to put all of them: success, secondary, info, warning, danger. How could we miss danger? And that's our favorite color. 1, 2, 3, just in case we have them. Then danger, and then what else? Dark and white. So primary goes here. I don't want to type a lot. Secondary, so that you just know what is happening. Info, warning, danger, dark, white. Then save. If I save, you can see the different contextual colors applied to the different types of items that we actually have. So this one has applied white. Let me do BG dark, so that we see. It's hard to see the white border, but that's how you can apply that contextual color to different border types. Next, we are going to learn about how to apply a border radius, because most of the items that we applied, it has sharp corners, including how beautifully they have been modified using CSS, default Bootstrap CSS, but we can actually shift the borders to become rounded, and by to what extent. Similarly, we just copy this to save on time, applying border radius, which is an amazing topic. So first we are going to apply the border class to them. Remember, I've just put this different background so that we're able to see the, let me shift this to PG Lite, and the reason why I've used this is just to show that is possible, and actually we don't need all of this. Okay, let me use several of them, some of them, and apply the border class, and you can decide if this one is going to be rounded all through. You can just put rounded class, and you can see it's having rounded corners as opposed to the sharp corners. And then if you want it to be rounded on the top, so we can just remove all this. Then this one is rounded top, this one is rounded at the bottom, and you're going to see, so I'm going to say this one is top, this one is rounded, this one is bottom, this one is, do you want it at the right side? Yes, just put it rounded. And do you want it at the start? Yes, just put it as rounded start. So not end, this one is right, this one is left. If I save that, let's go back, you can see, so this is rounded at the top, you can see it's rounded here on the top, but the bottom is still sharp corners, 90-degree corner. If bottom, the top is sharp corners, but the bottom on both sides is rounded. On the right, rounded on the right, sharp on the left. If it's left, left rounded, sharp there. And if you want to make a circle, let's say you want to probably make a nice looking circle, you have to give your element a width. So let me pick this left item, copy it, and paste it. I pressed Ctrl B instead of Ctrl V, that's why that's happened. So if I say this one is a circle, sorry, so it's not going to be rounded start, I'm just going to give it a class of border and rounded circle for it to be circle. If I save that without giving it a width, see what happens. It becomes a funny circle without a width, but it's still oval. It's not just a perfect circle. If I give it a width of, let's say 25, example, see, it becomes a circle. And if I want it to actually, and I've given it a border for it, let me give it a border context color, like border danger. Don't we love red? It becomes a red color. That's how you'll be able to, let me see if text center is going to work. And that's how it is to center the text. But that's how you're able to create a circle from a border. And we can also decide how far it can be rounded, and this is similar to padding, where we have padding 1 to padding 5. We can also decide how the size of that border when we are rounding up. So let me just it's part of radius actually, and if we want to do it, we still have to apply the class of border. Let me copy this and just paste it down here. Delete this because it's part of the same. So we still have to apply the rounded class, and let me just delete most of this. If I want to delete several of them, it's just click the Alt key and it's going to delete wherever you want. So I'm going to add the rounded class, so just so you understand, rounded. Oh my god, spelling is a problem. So as I said, it's rounded 1 all the way to 5. So if I did extra, it's okay. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to delete this, and yes, let's just select all of this and put it, because I'm trying to think of how you're going to differentiate from this end if I don't give it the proper text. Then I'm going to delete all this. I'll press the Alt key or the Option key in MacBook, just highlight these different items, and this is how you're going to move fast. Delete and then paste, save it, and that's how it is. See, rounded 1 is like that. The intensity of the rounding is what we define by the rounded. It looks like that. It's not sharp like this right angle here, but it's a bit rounded. Rounded 2, it just intensifies the rounding as we continue up to rounded 5. Next, we learn about shadows, and I'm glad that you've been able to learn about applying border radius. Now in shadows, this is just a simple one, because we are going to create an element, a simple element. Let me copy this. I love how we are building up the skills. Shadow. So I'm going to use our lovable div item with a padding of 5. As an example, you have to choose any class that you want. This is dependent on how you want to style it. I'm just giving an example here so that we be able to see. Then also a margin bottom of 5, so that we see the difference between each of the items, and 5 for items, right? If I save this and without showing anything, let's see, nothing shows because we have not applied any item to it. So with no shadow, we just apply shadow none. If you don't want to have a shadow, nothing really is going to change, but you're going to see no shadow because the text is there. Then to apply the next one, a small shadow, I'm going to put shadow SM, because remember the context sizes SM, LG and all that. You can see a very small shadow at the end here at the bottom. You can see that's how you apply the shadow to the box element. And then if you want medium or a regular shadow, you just say shadow, because a shadow is a shadow, right? And that's how it is. You apply shadow all through and you can see the intensity. Then if you want a large shadow, you guessed right, the context class of shadow -LG, and it's a large shadow, as you can see on the bottom here. Okay, so that's how we apply the shadow classes. We've moved all the way from learning about width, height and borders, then we learned about applying shadows. An interesting video to watch and learn from. See you in the next tutorial where we'll be learning about the breakpoints in Bootstrap 5. See you then.